taught you to hate the color of your skin? Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips?
A dispute over a parking space led to an argument, a fatal shooting, and now a lot more talk about stand your ground laws. Meg Oliver is in Clearwater, Florida.
We did everything together. You know, it's tough.
Brittany Jacobs is still hurting. The shooting happened last Thursday in this convenience store parking lot. The family of 5 parked in a handicapped spot. 28-year-old Marquise McLaughlin and his 5-year-old son went inside. That's when 47-year-old Michael Draka confronted her.
He was just, harassing me about a parking space, about a handicapped parking space.
McLaughlin returned and shoved Draka to the ground. That's when Draka drew his gun and fired a single shot into McLaughlin's chest. He stumbled back in the store and collapsed in front of his son. A day later, the Pinellas County Sheriff declared he could not charge Draka. Criminal defense attorney Anthony Rickman says the fact that McLaughlin backed up after the shove raises concerns.
And the question is at that point in time, was there the possibility of imminent serious bodily injury or death of Draka that justified the use of deadly force? And watching that video, I don't think so.
At least 23 other states also have so-called stand your ground laws allowing them to use deadly force against an attacker. They all say victims have no duty to retreat. Jacobs is left trying to comprehend how her 3 children lost their father over a trip to buy snacks.
Because all my man was trying to do is protect his girl like anybody else would, and stand by, his family's side.
The case is not over. It's now up to Florida State Attorney to determine whether to seek a grand jury indictment. Jeff?
Meg.
Yo. That was the story of the shooting of Marquise McLaughlin, who was killed last Thursday by I don't know the man, so I can't call him any names, but it sparked a big conversation, especially on YouTube today, and a lot of people were like, well, he shouldn't have showed that man, and he shouldn't have did this, and I was like, well, did this man, was he a police officer? Did he have a right to be harassing people in the parking lot? Well, no matter what, you still can't shove him. So he shoots the man because he said he had a fear using the stand your ground law that seems to be so popular in Florida. And I came back, it's like, did the black man have a right to have a fear? He comes out, or someone comes in the store, tells him about a commotion. He comes out, sees what's going on. He's got his girl, a 4-month-old, a 3-year-old, and the 5-year-old with him. Does the black man have the opportunity to express his fear? And he expresses it in a way just to get the man off of the vicinity of his people. But the good old white man, everybody's like, oh, well, you still can't touch me, can't do this. And then guess what comes out? Like they always try to demonize us. Guess what comes out? Turns out that this dude had been harassing other people before this situation. That's going to change a lot of people's ideas, right? Apparently, this guy had harassed another black man, called him a nigger and everything. And another customer and the store owner had to come out a couple of times on this guy. So this guy was just itching for something to go down. Unfortunately, this brother fell into the trap that they set for us so many times, brothers, that they want you to react. Because Donald Trump has now given them permission to act a damn fool. And as I was telling people on Facebook, we have no time to be sitting around siding with these folks. I'm not going to say white folks, but these folks that will immediately jump on anything negative about a black person, but not when it comes to white people that are in the wrong. And this is our biggest problem. I was at a town hall meeting last week, actually Thursday, the day when this happened. And the white woman was the only one that had the balls to say, well, somebody told me she was Hispanic, but I know white people when I see them. This was a white woman that works for the Justice Reform Department. And she says, we can't tap dance around the issue. We have to call white supremacy what it is. We have to call racism what it is. This man had the balls to walk. First of all, if you look at the video, he's not parked legally either. But he figures that he's in a position of authority where he's going to go and check the front plate. He's going to go check the back plate. And then he's going to start talking crazy to this black woman. I wonder, would he have had something to say if the black man was sitting in the car and the woman went in? I doubt if he would have said anything. But you never know, because this previous guy says he pulled his tanker up and he went in to get something. He came out and the same guy that did the shooting asked him, was he handicapped? And he said, I was not. I'm driving a tanker. But I guess he's like Zimmerman. He wants to patrol the neighborhood. He's got a gun. He's got his permit to carry. Now I can go deal with these niggas. So the man says he flipped out on me and called me every N-word and said he was going to shoot me. He then went back to his car to get something and came back, and the store owner came out, Ali Salosa, and shut down the confrontation. Then he said he did not know that this was going to happen 2 months later with another guy. It's really said, is what he said. So while all you people are sitting out here trying to give people the benefit of a doubt, they're not going to give us the benefit of a doubt. But everybody wants to jump up and, no. We as black people need to stop it. Every rule that they apply to us needs to apply to them. Don't talk to me about being fair until you can be fair. We're still pissed and riving about the Trayvon Martin situation. You heard everything on that tape. They told him not to follow him. The boy was just going home. And they still managed to flip that and make it about this boy attacking this man. It was disgusting. All the jurors needed kicking their butts. The whole thing was a sham. And the same lawyer that did this case, he was talking about this case that just happened on Thursday. Nah, I guess he's got to change of heart. He's like, well, see, in Trayvon Martin's case, we didn't have any cameras. But in this case, we do have a camera. We can clearly see that this man was not in any danger. And we all saw it. Black men can have fears too of white people. A lot of us go to work every day fearful of what master gonna say today, what master gonna do today. Am I gonna have a job? That's how they rule us. So my final statement was, so we're not allowed to protect ourselves, we're not allowed to protect our families, and we're not allowed to protect our communities. I understand they had a community meeting tonight about the shooting that occurred on 71st with the barber. It just seemed like it became a shouting match. But people have to understand the frustration of black people in this country. Enough is enough. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Nobody's going to sit around and wait for these judgments of not guilty. That's a fear of ours. Like a lot of mothers have fears. You got to tell your kids, okay, if the police stop you, don't say nothing. Be cool. Relax. Even if they punch you in the face, even if they stump you, no matter what happens, be cool. Comply or die. How long can we live like this in a structure? And we got to get to the different mindset, like I said people today. From now on, when I see a situation, just like they do us, I'm going to say you guilty until you're innocent. Not innocent and proven guilty. That just works for them. Because we guilty until proven guilty. There was another situation with a young lady, 2 sisters that were stabbed by some crazed white man. I don't even say he's a crazed white man. He was another white supremacist. He had a record of being a white supremacist. But what do they do? What did they do? They couldn't wait. They had to dig up something, because no matter when a black person gets killed, let's dig up something negative. Let's go to their Facebook page like they did Trayvon. Let's see. And this is what they put up from her Facebook page. I don't know why she's got a gun on her Facebook page. I wish she would have had a gun that day and put some lead in his ass. But she didn't. Whatever she's modeling, I don't know what she's doing in this photo. But why does this photo come up when she's the victim? She's the victim. But no matter what cases they deal with, we're the aggressors. We're the crazy ones. There was a judgment in the. I know everyone remember the Pancake House situation. Shaquita, I think that was her name, Shanice or something, and she was thrown down by the cops and everything, breasts popping out and everything. And there was I guess a bench trial, which was a trial by a judge, and he said she's guilty of causing this whole situation. Eric Gardner choked to death. He's guilty if he wasn't resisting. Every situation can't end in the death of black people, and we have to stand up and fight against this type of nonsense and stop being so willing to go willy-nilly. Just like this case with the barber on 71st Street. He was talking to the one cop already with his ID in his hand. The situation did not escalate until the white cops walked up, didn't say anything, just started grabbing. I don't know what the protocol is. If he called in and said, I got a guy with a possible gun, maybe the protocol is to run in and attack. But there's another video, and I'm still looking for it. I'm going to find this video because I saw it, of those same cops running and jumping into a car. Still haven't released her photo because it was a female cop, and it looks like a Hispanic cop. And there's a video of them running from the scene, jumping in the car, getting out of the situation before all the rioting act started. But young man had a gun. So gun means death. So everybody's running out and getting these gun cards. I'm kind of disturbed about all this concealed and carry, because now we got all these type of nuts running around looking for trouble, looking for issues, especially in Florida. All you got to do is say, I was in fear. You instigated something and then you were in fear? Yeah, Trayvon did fight back, because the way we raised our kids and we were raised, ain't nobody gonna be following me for a long distance before I had to turn around and say, what's up? What's going down? That's how it happens in the hood. Oops. No hood people on the jury. No black folks on that jury. There was a sister right there on the defense team, though, striving for her career. I hope it was worth it. And then you got Zimmerman talking crazy because Jay-Z is releasing this movie documentary called Trayvon Martin Rest in Power. I'm going to play this clip at the end of the show. And I think we all should support that and go out. George Zimmerman didn't like the way he was portrayed and threatened to do something to Jay-Z. And this dude not gonna rest until he gets served up. So the morning I get to wake up and hear about George Zimmerman catching one, let's celebrate that day. Let's make that an international day, and we should start celebrating every time one of these supremacist Nazi knuckleheads does something. Justice got to be equal for everybody, and if it's not equal for everybody, then it's not equal for nobody. And we shouldn't let people be comfortable with the way they see life when the way they see life is wrong. We're going to catch you Thursday night. Love, peace, soul. We out of here.
I'm Jordan Rolling for BET Social and Paramount Network. We're here at the Tribeca Film Festival for the world premiere of Rest in Power, the Trayvon Martin story. Tonight is about the loss of a young black man's life and the movement it inspired.
Even though Trayvon is deceased, he still lives on, and he lives on through not only his parents and his family and friends, but also through supporters. We are continuing to fight for not only Trayvon, but all the Trayvon Martins in this country.
Rest in Power is kind of an acronym to say that, yeah, Trayvon is not here, but the power of his legacy is still here.
There's come a time in this country when white Americans need to acknowledge their privilege. They need to realize that they don't have it the same as people of color. And they need to realize that it's up to them to sacrifice that privilege in a pursuit of an equal society. And what's happened in this country is that people have gotten scared. And that fear is something as old as this country. People have used that fear to make money, to divide us, to do all sorts of things. So our hope is that white Americans can let down their guard and get vulnerable and come to terms with the fact that it doesn't matter how much money they have. They could be as poor as any of us, but it's not the same as people who are living in this country of color and people who are victims of chattel slavery. We need to wake up and get real about what this country is, and it's going to take white Americans sacrificing their privilege and coming to the table and acknowledging the racial divide with humility.
It's been 6 years since Trayvon's death. Why do you think it's so important for this documentary to be coming out right now, especially under the current administration?
I mean, the reality is that since Trayvon Martin's death and since the acquittal of his killer, we've had so many #Black Lives Matter cases. But this was the first case. This was the patient zero case of Black Lives Matter. This was the first boy in the modern era about whom we use the phrase Black Lives Matter. He galvanized the country to understand the devaluation of Black life and Black boyhood in a way we had to learn again with Michael Brown, again with Tamir Rice, and again and again and again. But it's important to go back and tell this story because the difference between this case and those cases is that this was not a cop. And the idea that a civilian, that an ordinary person sort of behaving like a cop, even defying the police to behave the way they would behave, can exercise the same power of life and death over a child, over a black child, that a police officer could, and then achieve the same result in court, that's a terrifying reality.
Tonight was a great night. We caught up with people who not only love Trayvon Martin, but who are committed to continuing his legacy. For BET Social, I'm Jordan Rolling.